Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Alex's Travels, and in this edition of Alex's Travels we'll be traveling to the state of Minnesota and see what the state has to offer. So here we are at LA International Airport, LAX, and we will catch a flight to Chicago, then on to Minneapolis. So we are inside Terminal 7, and let's go ahead and catch our red-eye flight to Chicago O'Hare Airport, which will be arriving on the next day. So it is the next day we are at Chicago O'Hare Airport, and check out this beautiful sunrise here in Chicago. So what I like about Chicago's O'Hare Airport is this pathway with all these neon lights. Here you have this dinosaur sculpture, and we made it to our gate, and we are about to catch a flight to Minnesota St. Paul Minneapolis Airport. So let's go ahead and fly to Minneapolis. So we are about to arrive to our destination. Here you can see the map, flying from Chicago's O'Hare Airport to Minneapolis. So we've arrived at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. Here is our welcome sign, and let's go ahead and get our rental car for this trip. So we are at the rental car lot, and our rental car for this trip will be my favorite, the 10th generation Honda Accord. So really like the 10th generation from Honda, especially when I grew up the 10th generation Honda Civic in Texas. It just feels like it's meant to be driving a 10th generation Honda Accord. Really love the taillights here, and let's go ahead and check out the interior. As much as you know, I am a huge car guy, having a fortunate opportunity to work for Honda. It just comes full circle in my heart. So here's the interior of the Honda Accord. Here you have this 8-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch screen with a digital cluster, and yeah, let's go on the road. So we are on the road to Minneapolis. We will not be stopping by the Twin Cities. We'll be passing by Minneapolis and head our way to St. Cloud, Minnesota, which is 80 miles away from the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. As I'm driving this 10th generation Honda Accord, really love the ride quality, especially when it comes from Honda. And yeah, so hope you fully enjoy this road trip to St. Cloud. And as you can see, as we change lanes, you can see the skyline of Minneapolis in the distance. Here are the driving dynamics here, with the interior all lit up. Here you can see my Nissan Rogue in the next lane. Let's go after that 2018 Nissan Rogue. And more importantly, let's go ahead and drive towards Minneapolis and appreciate being in the state of the land of 10,000 lakes. So we have passed the main core of the Twin Cities, and let's go ahead and drive ourselves to St. Cloud. So we are in St. Cloud. We're outside of the downtown area of St. Cloud, and we are at this park. And let's go ahead and give a proper review of the 10th generation Honda Accord. As you know, if you've been a huge follower of Alex's travels on my YouTube channel, you know I've driven the 10th generation Honda Civic. Like I said again, here's the rear taillights of the Honda Accord. This is in its own black color. And here's the side view. Really love the rear glass panel, which gives more visibility once you're changing lanes. And yeah, so I really like this 10th generation Honda Accord. And what a beautiful park that I found in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And let's go ahead and check the interior on the inside. And yeah, so here is the inside of the 10th generation Honda Accord. Let's go through the interior and play with the informational stuff. We like how it starts on with the Honda logo on the infotainment system. And here are the gauge clusters. Really like cycling through the gauge clusters. And yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the car behind this beautiful backdrop here. And you can see somebody riding a bicycle on this beautiful day. And here's the view from the second row seats. Pretty premium. Really like the steering wheel design. Better than my Nissan. And like I said, really like the rear view panel here. So you have lots of visibility once you're changing multiple lanes. And yeah. So here we are at the Paramount Center for the Arts, one of the iconic landmarks here in downtown St. Cloud. And welcome to Minnesota. This is my first time here in the state of Minnesota. And as you know, as a huge Los Angeles Lakers fan, it's the state where the Lakers originated from. Minnesota is known for the land of 10,000 lakes, if I'm not mistaken. Here we are on St. Germain Street, and this is St. Cloud, Minnesota, which is 65 miles away outside of Minneapolis, and it takes an hour and 5 minutes to get here in St. Cloud from Minneapolis. So this is the downtown area of St. Cloud. St. Cloud, from my perspective, after looking at on the maps, it's a small town here, mid-sized small town. Here you have several boutique shops and outdoor eating areas. To me, this is a quiet downtown here during midday here in Minnesota. I really love the rustic buildings here, the brick built buildings here in downtown St. Cloud. It gives more of a character once you are walking through the streets here in St. Cloud. So what we are looking at is the Stearns County Courthouse. That courthouse reminds me Back of the Future. St. Cloud is the county seat of Stearns County here in Minnesota. And there is a lot of things to check out here. Here in St. Cloud, you have downtown St. Cloud, you have the Munsinger and Clemens Garden, and you have the Mississippi River that flows through St. Cloud. And this is such a beautiful area. It has an estimated 200,000 residents, and this is the 5th largest metropolitan statistical area here in Minnesota. Like I mentioned, St. Cloud is 65 miles northwest of the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, along Interstate 94. And St. Cloud is home to St. Cloud State University, Minnesota's 3rd largest public university, located near the Beaver Islands. And yeah, so really like checking these small, to me, coming from California, the great state of California, this is a small town. If this was in California, this would be considered a small town. So on our left is the Radio City Music Hall. Such a beautiful music hall. Here you have a for release sign. And yeah, so the reason why I am here is strictly for business, and caveat the perks of traveling for business that I get to explore these parts of the country, and I'm glad to share it with you here on YouTube. So you have some sculptures here, and yeah, so here there's more of a modern structure building here that looks like apartments, and on our right that it looks like to be department store. And here it is. And yeah, so let's go. So as we continue along, here in the distance is the St. Cloud Convention Center. I believe it's the Three Rivers Convention Center, which is hosting an event that I am attending. I want to learn more about what I do. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll upload my Alex's Travels vlog. So I am super excited to be here in St. Cloud. You have these beautiful shops and dining establishments. And as we come across this intersection, here is the convention center, I believe, which is called the Three Rivers Convention Center, that sits along the Mississippi River, I believe, which is the longest river in the United States of America. Here on this street, you have more of these brick-built buildings, and like I mentioned, I really love these buildings since it has lots of history in them. So much history of how many people would be occupied inside throughout the years. That's why I've had an admiration for these brick-like structures. And here you have the red carpet, and just look at the characteristics of these buildings. Here you have this one of the buildings here. It looks significant. And here's the courtyard. And here's the entrance to the convention center. This is called the St. Cloud River's Edge Convention Center. So it's not the Three Rivers, but this is the River's Edge Convention Center that is next to the Mississippi River. So we are inside the River's Edge Convention Center, and the reason why I am here in Minnesota, I am here for the MAPT, Minnesota Association for Pupil Transportation. So it's basically a school bus trade show, and as we walk inside the hall, you can see all the different vendors and OEMs. That is all school bus related. So you'll find some school bus parts, school bus vendors, school bus safety, all that kind of stuff here at the Minnesota Pupil Transportation Conference and Trade Show.
I think Quarry's the only one that we've had.
gallons of oil. Did you look at Take care of it. Any questions?
We just should have. Yeah.
So this is where I am staying at the River's Edge Convention Center. They have a Best Western Plus here attached to the convention center. So let's go ahead and take a room tour. This is room 338 here at this Best Western Plus that is attached to the River's Edge Convention Center here in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Here is the room. Pretty typical, standard, not too frills room, which I'm okay with. Anything's better than staying at a motel. Here you have this AC, and here's the window view. In the window view, you'll get the indoor swimming pool, which is pretty cool. There's not lots of places that you think that you'd see an indoor swimming pool at this budget-friendly hotel. So I have twin beds. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bathroom. Here you have the sink on the outside, and here you have the bathtub on the inside. So pretty standard, typical that you would find at this Best Western here in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So we'll be starting off checking out the Clemens Gardens. As you can see, this is the most beautiful garden that I've visited on my trip here in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So as you can see, we'll be checking out the Clemens Garden and our adventure checking out the Munsinger Gardens, which is along the Mississippi River. So here is the Clemens Garden. As you can see, really love these arches. I'm not sure what is the proper term for this, but you can feel, this is a well-kept, carefully crafted garden that is maintained. So, nestled on the banks of the mighty Mississippi River in St. Cloud, Minnesota, the Clemens and Munsinger Gardens offer visitors a truly unique and breathtaking botanical experience. This cherished public space is actually composed of two distinct adjacent gardens, each offering a contrast in style and ambience, as you are seeing right now. So the Clemens Garden has a formal elegance to it. This is a classical European formal design. This garden developed more recently in the 1990s and was funded by Bill Clemens in honor of his wife, Virginia. The garden showcases a series of 6 distinct formal areas. The 6 separate gardens inside the Clemens Garden includes the spectacular Virginia Clemens Rose Garden with over 1,000 roses, the White Garden inspired by the Singsinghurst Castle, and the Treillage Garden with its large arbor and several stunning fountains that we see here, and the elegant ironwork. So Here's one of the fountains, the perennial garden fountain, dedicated in 1995. And like I said, this is one of the most beautiful gardens that I've been to. If you look at the pine trees on your left, that is the Munsinger Garden, which we'll be checking out soon. But this is a pretty cool place to check out if you find yourself in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So I'm walking in this garden during the morning time. Let me know in the comment section below if you're a local here, if there's more people in midday or close to dawn or near close to when the sunset. So all of the details of the ironwork in these fountains, as you can see here. And the tall trees in the back there is the Munsinger Garden, and behind and that is where the Mississippi River flows. And yeah, and really like how this is well kept. This is probably one of the most well maintained gardens that I've visited throughout all the gardens that I've walked through. Even my own local arboretum. This is a well-maintained, well-kept garden. Something that I don't expect to see, especially in this part of the country. Really love this tall fountain. Really love the ironwork and the details that it gives off. And this is a great place to just sit down and relax and read a book or play a video game with your handheld console. And as we walk closer to this monument, that is Virginia, and this was dedicated by them. And like I said, it was funded by Bill Clemens in honor of his wife Virginia. And this is those two are the reason why this garden exists here in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And as we walk towards this end of the garden, here's what it looks like on this end of the Clemens Garden. So here's one last look at Bill and Virginia Clemens, who made this public space possible. And with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the Munsinger Gardens, which is right across the street from where that red pickup truck is. So we have crossed the street, and here is the Munsinger Gardens here in St. Cloud, Minnesota. This garden is right next to the Mississippi River, which we have a beautiful view of. I forgot to mention that these two gardens is located on the eastern edge of the city. So the eastern edge of the St. Cloud, where you have the downtown St. Cloud on the western edge of the Mississippi River. This is located right on the eastern part of the Mississippi River. So as you can see, this is more of a tree-like garden. It is relaxed, shady, and it has a informal cottage. As you can see, the atmosphere here is tranquil, a natural retreat with winding flower bordered paths under a canopy of towering pines, as we see here. And the history for the Munsinger Gardens. This dates back to the 1930s. This was a 14-acre. This 14-acre garden was originally developed by the Works Progress Administration and is named for the city's first park superintendent, Joseph Munsinger. And really love this beautiful path that we are walking on, and it feels like we are back in California with all the pine trees. So the key features of this garden, it features shade-loving plants like the hostas and ferns, a historic WPA era fountain, and swinging benches overlooking the river, perfect for a quiet reflection. And what a beautiful cottage that is that we are looking at right now. So together, the 20 plus acres of Munsinger and Clemens Gardens displays over 100,000 annuals and perennials, creating one of Minnesota's most popular and beautiful tourist destinations. Whether you prefer the peaceful meandering paths of the Munsinger or the grand colorful symmetry of the Clemens Garden, this remarkable public garden offers an unforgettable sensory feast. So, and here is the Mississippi River. So here is the Mississippi River in St. Cloud, Minnesota, which flows through Minneapolis, and we will be heading there right now. So we are heading to Minneapolis, St. Paul, on I-94 East. Minneapolis, St. Paul is known as the Twin Cities, and we are departing from St. Cloud. St. Cloud is on the northwestern end of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities, and so it's an 80-mile drive. It usually takes an hour or an hour and 30 to go back to the major cities. So so let's see what this Honda 10th Gen Honda Accord has to offer, and hope you enjoy this drive to Minneapolis. Be checking out the Mall of America here in Bloomington, Minnesota, part of the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. So here it is. Here is the Mall of America, and let's go ahead and see what this mall has to offer. So we are inside Mall of America. This is the largest mall in the United States, as you can see here. There are so many things to do here in the largest mall of the country. Let's talk about the history of this mall. The Mall of America is located in Bloomington, Minnesota. It's more than just a shopping mall. It's a massive retail and entertainment destination that has captivated visitors such as myself since its opening. As you know, this is recognized as the largest mall in the United States in terms of both area and number of retailers. It serves as a powerful symbol of American consumer culture and an international tourist magnet. So we are inside the center of the mall. The center of the mall has this theme park, which I like. I call it. This is called the Nickelodeon Universe, which is a 7-acre indoor amusement park, the largest of its kind in the U.S., located right in the center of the mall. And this is a great place to take your children while you go shopping. This mall also has a Sea Life Minnesota aquarium, which has a massive underwater experience. So let's talk about the history of this mall as we walk through the main attraction here at the Mall of America. The Mall of America opened its doors to the public on August 11, 1992. This was built on the former site of the Metropolitan Stadium, the longtime home of the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Vikings professional sports team until 1982. A historical mall remains with a plaque and a commemorative seat inside a mall marking the former location of the home plate here. The vision for this mall is that the concept for this mega mall is developed by a Canadian-based 555 group. We've also created the West Edmonton Mall. Their plan was a fusion of retail, amusement, and hospitality designed to attract visitors from the local area. As you can see, as we walk through the Nickelodeon Universe, you would have to spend a whole day to experience one of the largest malls in the world for yourself. Upon opening, the fully enclosed structure encompassed 4.2 million square feet and has featured anchors like Nordstrom, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, and Minneapolis and Sears. So we'll be walking in front of the Laco store and walk through it. This is a unique Laco store next to the Laco store I visited in downtown Disney in Anaheim, California. Here, as you can see, you have a theater up on the upper levels, and here's what the Laco store looks like on the inside. So you can see, you can pick whatever you want from the Lego store. You have this pick a brick, which is my favorite when I was into Legos, and here you have multiple levels of this mall. And what I like about this Lego store is the history of the logo of the Lego system. So we are on the upper level of mall, and here is the center of it, which is the Nickelodeon Universe, 7-acre amusement park inside one of the largest malls in the world. Pretty incredible to see what I am seeing here. So here you can also visit one of these attractions, and let's go ahead and walk around the mall. And here you have this food court called Culinary on Wharf, which has your fast casual, fast food chains here. Pretty impressive, to say the least. So let's go ahead and walk around the mall, which has multiple levels here, and there's so much to do to fit in this episode of Alex's Adventures. So as you can see, most of it, here's Nordstrom, one of the anchors of the mall, and here are the many stores, 520 tenants to be exact, inside this mall. I really love the lighting. The lighting of this mall gives you this vibe. So we just walked through here. It's basically the stores that you would find in other malls locally to you. Here's the Macy's, one of the anchors, and here's Restaurant Row, which I would like to call it, and this is your sit-in, dine-in restaurants. Let's go ahead and check that out. So here we are inside, and this floor, this level of the mall is your usual sit-in, dine-in restaurants. Here you have the Cold Stone Creamery, Panera Bread, all your typical here. Here is the lower levels, which has stores that you can find. Buffalo Wild Wings and a Rainforest Cafe, something that you don't see at every mall. And yeah, so this mall attracts over 40 million visitors annually, more than double the visitation of the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. And this generates billions in economic impact and employing thousands of people, as you can imagine. And this is a tourist landmark, so you know that's the reason why I am here. And here you have your typical lid store. Yeah. So the sheer scale of the mall is of its identity is so large that it has its own zip code 55425 and is designed deliberately to encourage visitors to spend more time and money in its area. And here is the log ride. Didn't know that this has a log ride inside this amusement park. Pretty impressive indeed. So here you have multiple retail stores inside the mall. Here you have Five Below. You have the shoe stores, PacSun, JD, all that you can think of. Everything is located inside this mall. Hard to imagine to do a full walkthrough video of this mall, which would be like an hour long. And like I mentioned, the movie theater is up on the top level. And here you can get a sense of scale just looking through these floors. And yeah, so here is the amusement park, which is the center attraction of this mall. And that is Mall of America here in Bloomington, Minnesota. What a huge mall this place is. So we are back inside our Honda Accord. Let's turn this up and see how the gauge clusters look at night. Really love the illumination here on the inside. Here's the Honda infotainment display. And let's go ahead and drive back to Minneapolis. So we are driving towards downtown Minneapolis. Here you can see Minneapolis in the background. This is one of my rare opportunities to check out downtown Minneapolis, since I'm only here for 2 days. But let's go ahead and make the most of it and enjoy what downtown Minneapolis has to offer. So hope you enjoy the view of the city. Here you can see all how driving in the state of Minnesota is like compared how I drive in LA back at home in California. And yeah, so let's go ahead and make our downtown exits here into downtown Minneapolis. So we are at this intersection, which I find to be very interesting, to say at least. Once this light turns green, we'll be crossing one of the iconic bridges here. I believe it's called the Hennepin Bridge, and here you can see from a distance one of the neon signage here with the suspension bridge in the background. So we are standing on the Hennepin Bridge over the Mississippi River in downtown Minneapolis. It was the same bridge that we drove from last night. Here's the grain belt beer. And yeah, so let's go ahead and check out the Minneapolis riverfront here in downtown Minneapolis. So here's the skyline of downtown Minneapolis along with the 3rd Avenue Bridge. There are 4 major bridges that crosses the Mississippi River. We'll be walking along the Minneapolis Riverfront Trail, also known as the St. Anthony Falls Heritage Trail, which is a scenic 1.8 to 2 mile urban loop that winds through the historic heart of the city. It is widely considered one of the most beautiful and cultural significant areas in the Twin Cities. And here's a map of the riverfront. And you can see where we will be checking the points of interest out. And we'll be checking out the St. Anthony Falls in a while. But here's the Heritage Center, where you have many of these cute establishments here. And here you can see many people walking around this area. So this is the main thing that you do here. If you find yourself in Minneapolis, we'll be doing the walk. The walk takes you along both banks of the Mississippi River, connected by historic bridges. Here you can learn more about electricity in Minneapolis with this beautiful view in the background. And let's go ahead and check out the St. Anthony Falls that is along the mighty Mississippi River. So here you have this beautiful 3rd Avenue Bridge, which is being renovated, and yeah. So here's the St. Anthony falls on the Mississippi River with the beautiful Minneapolis skyline in the background, and this is a great place to check out. This is a major natural fall along the Mississippi River. Here you can see the 3rd Avenue Bridge is being renovated with a new deck. And you can learn more about this fall. Here you have the museum in the background. And so such a wonderful site. And this is the site where it generates electricity. You can learn more about the falls with the informative placards that are here next to the falls. So St. Anthony Falls is the only major natural waterfall on the entire 2,300-mile length of the Mississippi River. The falls weren't always here. They started in downtown St. Paul 12,000 years ago, but eroded 8 miles upstream to their current location that we are standing right now. Such an interesting fact that I just looked this up. So we are back on land. On this side of the Mississippi River, you can find the Pillsbury Building. Such a unique building that you don't see anywhere else. And let's continue our walk down the Heritage Trail. So we are at Father Hennepin Bluff Park. This is an urban park that is along the trail, and here you can see and watch a movie that takes place at night. This is a lush park on the east bank with steep bluffs, bridges, and views of the river power generating infrastructure that we were on, which is called the Hennepin Island. So if we continue this way, if you make our right, we'll see the Stone Arch Bridge. Here's the stage for tonight. And here you can see smokestacks for the power generating needs. So this is a great place to hang out if you find yourself in Minneapolis. Here we have one of these information kiosks to learn more about the area. And this is my favorite part of the trail. This is the Stone Arch Bridge, the historic Stone Arch Bridge here in Minneapolis. So we are on the Stone Arch Bridge over the Mississippi River. This iconic 1883 former railroad bridge is a centerpiece of the walk. It offers panoramic views of downtown Minneapolis and a front row seat to the rushing waters of the St. Anthony Falls. Here you can see that this bridge is on the historic registered landmarks. And here's the St. Anthony Falls with the 3rd Avenue Bridge in the background, along with Hennepin Island and the Father Hennepin Bluff Park. Such a beautiful area to be here in Minneapolis. And we will pan along the skyline of downtown Minneapolis. And yeah, such a beautiful bridge and an urban feature that Minneapolis offers here. So we are looking at Mill City Museum, which is next to Mill Ruins Park. And here's one last view of St. Anthony Falls. So the Mill City Museum is a history museum, which tells about the history of the flour industry, which is told through interactive exhibits in the rebuilt ruins of an old mill. Here we have the parking lot area for the mill ruins. And you can also use this parking area for the Stone Arch Bridge and the point of interest that we just explored today. Here's one last look at the Minneapolis riverfront in the St. Anthony Falls Heritage Trail. And this is my favorite thing that I found in Minneapolis. So I hope you enjoyed my travels to Minnesota. If you liked this video, please give this video a super huge thumbs up. Comment in the comment section below what you think about the state of Minnesota. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to check out my other YouTube content that's on this channel. And thank you for watching Alex's Travels. And I'll definitely see you on the next one.